morning, Extreme Kids. Today we are talking about the book of 1 Thessalonians. So this church in Thessalonica was started by Paul and Silas back in Acts 17. They started this entire church, and when they were telling people about them, they actually got into some huge trouble. Remember last week when I said that Paul's most controversial phrase was Jesus is Lord? Well, it got him into trouble here too. Because when he told everyone about this, they all thought that he was saying that because Jesus is king, it takes away some power from Caesar, who was the physical king at that time. So everyone came against him and all of the other Christians, and it was so bad that Paul and Silas actually ran away. They fled. So this letter comes years later on when Paul sent Timothy to check on them and see how they're doing. So Timothy came back. He said to Paul that these guys are doing so great. They've been persecuted. They've had a lot of issues. But you know what? They're going strong. So this letter today is all about encouragement. Now, encouragement, very simple, is the action of giving someone support, confidence, or hope. Now, I'm sure that the church in Thessalonica had a lot of issues. I'm sure that they had a lot of issues with things to believe in, a lot of conflicts they had. But Paul recognized this and said, hey, they really need some support. They really need some hope. They really need some confidence because they're doing really well. Unfortunately, just the area around them was treating them poorly. Because if you were a Christian and you were saying that you believed in Jesus, you were going against everyone else. Your neighbors who believed in all these Greek and Roman gods, you were telling them that they were fake. Your family who raised you to be like a certain way is suddenly rejecting you because you're deciding to be a Christian. These people were going through the struggle. They were getting beaten. They were getting called names. They were having a hard time. So Paul in this letter did something today that we would call encouragement. He sent them a letter to tell them that what they were doing was good and to just keep going because he believed in them. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do for somebody. So today we're talking about encouragement. Now, life can be hard sometimes, we know this. Whether you have a hard time in school, you're having a hard time with a friend, or with your sibling, or something like that. Do you really want to be told what to do and what not to do? No, not really. I mean, think about it. If you're having a hard time in school, is it going to make you feel better if a teacher walks up to you and just tells you that what you've done is wrong and you need to do all these other things instead? No, it's going to make you feel worse. When you have a fight with your friend, do you expect that your other friend or your parent or somebody's going to come and tell you, well, you shouldn't be so mean? No, you want encouragement, right? Encouragement is something that makes you feel better. It supports you. But they're not just words to make you feel better. That's not all that encouragement does. You see, encouragement is also a gift of the Holy Spirit. It's something that God produces inside of us to give to other people. Why would that be? Sure, God wants us to make us feel better when we're sad or we're upset, but encouragement has a greater purpose than that. It also helps us to do the right thing. You see, even if you do something wrong, but you feel bad, there's a right way to tell you that. We have to choose our words carefully. So, what Paul was writing in this letter, he was telling them how great they were. He was telling them how proud he was of them. But he was also pushing them to keep doing the right thing. And so when we encourage other people and when we receive encouragement, it shouldn't just be something to make us feel good, right? If you feel upset, you don't want somebody to just walk up to you and tell you how good looking you are. That's kind of empty. You want them to meet you where you're at. You want them to understand your situation and to push you forward, to give you hope, support, and confidence. That's what Paul did for the Thessalonians, and that's what I hope people would do for us. And that's what we need to do for other people. When you see a friend who's hurting, you don't just go up to them and say something nice. You say something that's going to help them. You meet them where they're at. You see, Paul is no stranger to persecution. Paul has been through it. Let me tell you, between boats and shipwrecks and imprisonment and getting beaten and sent out of areas, Paul has been through the worst. Okay, Paul understands what it's like to be persecuted, to be treated poorly because of what he believes in. So he understands more than anyone else what this church is going through. And he doesn't neglect that. In this entire letter, he actually celebrates that. He says, guys, this is how similar we are. And this is how similar we are to Jesus. He says, by you enduring suffering, by you putting up with suffering and choosing to do the right thing, you're actually a lot like Jesus. And he's proud of them for it. Encouragement isn't something that we do to just push people away, right? When we just give something that's empty, we're just solving their problems. Encouragement is something where we get down to where people are and we help lift them up. If you have a friend who's going through a hard time in school, you don't just tell them, you're okay, you're smart. You don't just tell them, you'll figure it out. You help them. You encourage them by understanding their issues and pushing them forward into the right thing, by giving them hope and support and confidence. So it's a very simple message, but it's hard to do. So just stay tuned really quickly. I'm going to show you this video by a kid named Kid President, who's given us 20 words that we should be saying more often.
20 things we should say more often. Number 20, thank you. And not just on Thanksgiving, every day. Number 19, excuse me. Number 18, here's a surprise corn dog that I bought you because you're my friend. There'll be more corn dogs and more happy people. This is a good idea. Corn dog for you, corn dog for you, corn dog for you. Number 17, I'm sorry. Number 16, I forgive you. Number 15, you can do it! But don't say it if it's something they can't do. Number 14, another thing that we should say more often, I have barbecue sauce in my shirt too. Before you say something about the barbecue sauce on somebody else's shirt, take a look at the barbecue sauce on your own shirt. Number 13, please. Number 12, everything is going to be okay. Number 11, oh, you got me a corn dog too? You shouldn't have, buddy. Number 10, I don't know. I know a lot of people who need to say that. My sister. Number 9, you're so awesome I named my dog after you. Wait. That could hurt someone's feelings. I mean boat. I named my boat after you. Wait, who even has a boat? You're so awesome, I legally changed my name to yours. Wait, that's super creepy. Just tell people they're awesome and mean it. Number 8, hello, person that I never met before. Here's a high five. Number 7, my sports team is not always the best sports team. It takes a big man to say that. Number 6, nothing. Sometimes that's the best thing you can say. Number 5, doesn't mean anything, but it's just really funny. Number 4, I disagree with you, but I still like you as a person who is a human being, and I'll treat you like that. Because if I didn't, it would make everything bad, and that's what lots of people do, and it's lame. Whew, I need a water break, y'all. It's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to be mean. Number 3, sometimes you just gotta scream. Number 2, life is tough, but so are you. Sometimes we all need to be reminded to keep going. Number 1, something nice, anything. If you can't think of anything nice to say, you're not thinking hard enough. So what about you? What do you think people should say more often? Leave a comment below and let's hear it. Oh, and I got a bonus one for you. Something that we should say more often? Let's dance.
So I like his examples on what we can say to help make people feel better. Now, especially the corn dogs. We need to be giving people more corn dogs more often. It really helps brighten their mood. So some of these examples were a little funny, but things that we need to say more often really just talks about how we relate to people, how to be more real with people, right? Things like I'm sorry, or it's okay to disagree, or just saying something nice is being more real with people. Because that's what encouraging is. Nobody likes when somebody's fake. So I want you to take time and to think about who you can encourage and how. So I'm going to give you this verse and then I'm going to give you your challenge, and that's it. Simple lesson today. So the verse is 1 Thessalonians 5:12 through 13. Now we ask you, brothers and sisters, to acknowledge those who work hard among you, who care for you in the Lord and who admonish you. Hold them in the highest regard in love because of their work. Live in peace with one another. So Paul's challenge to us and to this church in Thessalonians is just to continue to do the right thing. That even when things are hard, to keep pushing forward. And that when things are hard for other people, to make sure that we're doing our best to encourage them. So your challenge this week is very simple. Find a way to encourage somebody. Now you can write them a letter, you can shoot them a text, you can email them, you can call them, you can Zoom call them, whatever it is. You can write a couple of words down on a piece of paper and hand it to them. But find a way to show encouragement. Find a way to let people know that you care. Find a way to give hope and support. People need it now more than ever. All right, guys. So that's it for this week. Like I said, extremely short. So stay safe out there and love one another. I'll see you next week.